What happens when billionaires lose it all? Is it bad decisions, risky gambles, or something more sinister? Today, we're diving into shocking stories of the world's wealthiest individuals who went from soaring heights to rock bottom. How do you go from billions to broke? These tales of financial ruin will have you questioning everything. So, buckle up as we count down 10 millionaires who lost it all in spectacular fashion. Number 10. Bill Hwang. Bill Hwang, once a billionaire with a net worth estimated at $10 billion, saw his fortune evaporate in March 2021. Hwang was the head of Archegos Capital Management, a private investment firm that engaged in highly leveraged bets on media companies like Viacom CBS and Discovery Inc. His strategy involved borrowing billions of dollars to buy shares, driving up the stock prices. But when the market corrected, everything came crashing down. Hwang's firm couldn't meet its margin calls, causing major financial institutions like Credit Suisse and Nomura to suffer billions in losses. Archegos was forced to liquidate its positions, leading to a massive sell-off in the market. It was one of the most significant financial collapses in history. Before the crash, Hwang's wealth was estimated to be around $10 billion, but after the fall, it disappeared almost overnight. Number 9. Chuck Feeney. Not all stories of lost wealth are tragic. Chuck Feeney, co-founder of duty-free shoppers, once had a net worth of $8 billion. But unlike others on this list, Feeney lost his fortune on purpose. Over 40 years, Feeney quietly gave away his vast wealth to charitable causes, from education to healthcare to human rights. Feeney lived a remarkably modest life, opting for a small apartment and flying coach while giving billions to causes he cared about. By 2020, Feeney had successfully donated nearly all his fortune and closed his philanthropic organization. His goal was simple: to give while living. And he certainly did just that. Number 8. Bernie Ebbers. Bernie Ebbers was once the CEO of WorldCom, a telecommunications giant, and had a personal fortune of $1.4 billion. However, his empire came crashing down when it was revealed that WorldCom had falsely inflated its profits by billions of dollars. The company had misstated $11 billion in its books, classifying expenses as investments and profits as income. In 2002, WorldCom went bankrupt, and Ebbers was convicted of fraud and conspiracy. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. The collapse of WorldCom was one of the largest accounting scandals in history, wiping out billions of dollars in shareholder value. Ebbers, once a telecom mogul, saw his wealth reduced to nothing. Number 7. Vijay Mallya. Indian businessman Vijay Mallya was once worth $1.5 billion, having built a massive liquor empire and owning Kingfisher Airlines. Mallya was known for his extravagant lifestyle, hosting lavish parties and owning luxury yachts. But his airline accumulated massive debt, and in 2012, Mallya faced accusations of money laundering and fraud, totaling $1.3 billion. In 2016, Mallya fled India for the UK, where he fought extradition. His assets were seized, and creditors pursued him across continents. Once a billionaire, Mallya now faces legal battles, and his empire lies in ruins. Number 6. Sean Quinn. Sean Quinn's rise to fortune began in a small gravel business, which eventually grew into a massive empire, including construction, insurance, and hospitality. By 2008, Quinn was the richest man in Ireland, with a net worth of $6 billion. However, most of his wealth was tied up in shares of Anglo-Irish Bank, a company he heavily invested in. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, Anglo-Irish Bank collapsed, wiping out Quinn's wealth. By 2011, he declared bankruptcy, with his net worth plunging to minus $3 billion. Today, Quinn works as a consultant, a stark contrast to his days as Ireland's wealthiest man. Number 5. Alan Stanford. Alan Stanford was a Texas billionaire who made a fortune in real estate and banking. But behind the wealth was a dark secret. Stanford had been running a massive Ponzi scheme, promising investors high returns on their investments, which were fake. He used his bank as a personal ATM, spending millions on luxury yachts, jets, and mansions. In 2009, Stanford was arrested for defrauding investors of $7 billion. He was sentenced to 110 years in prison, and most of his investors never saw their money again. His personal fortune, once valued at $2 billion, vanished in the wake of his fraudulent activities. Number 4. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff is perhaps the most infamous name on this list, running the largest Ponzi scheme ever. Madoff convinced investors that he was delivering extraordinary returns, as high as 20%, by supposedly investing their money. In reality, Madoff wasn't investing at all. He was using new investors' money to pay off older ones. For years, Madoff's scam went undetected. But when the 2008 financial crisis hit, investors began requesting their money back, and Madoff couldn't deliver. He confessed to his family that he had stolen $65 billion from his investors. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, and in 2021, he died while serving his sentence. Number 3. Do Kwon. Do Kwon, the South Korean founder of Terra and Luna, was once a rising star in the cryptocurrency world. But in May 2022, Terra and Luna collapsed, wiping out $40 billion in a matter of days. Kwon's blockchain experiment failed, and millions of investors lost their money. Kwon fled South Korea, and Interpol issued a warrant for his arrest. He was later found hiding in Serbia. Kwon's fall from grace was swift, and his story is a cautionary tale about the risks of cryptocurrency investments. Number 2. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes was once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, leading her company Theranos with groundbreaking medical technology. By 2014, Theranos was valued at $9 billion, and Holmes was worth $4.5 billion. Investors poured money into the company, believing it would revolutionize healthcare. However, in 2015, it was revealed that Theranos's technology didn't work. Holmes was charged with massive fraud, and in 2022, she was sentenced to over 11 years in prison. Her net worth, once in the billions, is now zero. Number 1. Sam Bankman-Fried. At the top of the list is Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF, who once held a net worth of $27 billion as the founder of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. SBF was hailed as a humble genius, but it was all a facade. FTX had its own token, FTT, which SBF used as collateral to borrow billions. He funneled the money into risky bets through his other company, Alameda Research. When users tried to withdraw their funds, FTX couldn't pay them back. Billions in user funds had been misused, and FTX collapsed. SBF's fortune disappeared, and in 2022, he was arrested and charged with fraud. His net worth, once in the billions, is now zero, and he faces up to 115 years in prison. These shocking stories show just how quickly fortunes can crumble, even for the world's richest people. Whether it's risky business deals, massive fraud, or poor financial management, wealth can disappear overnight. If you found these stories as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.